Hi, I'm Trevor. I'm a counsellor based in Dartford, and I've been asked to talk to the group about well-being. At this point, we're all having to deal with a lot of extra stress. And stress is just a part of life. It's a natural response to things that challenge us. Having a job is stressful, commuting to work is stressful, not having a job is stressful, looking after children is stressful, looking after parents. Everyday life is stressful. And then we have stresses that hopefully come and go. Bereavement, losing someone close to us adds stress to our lives. A job interview is stressful, an exam is stressful, having children with exams is stressful, or needing to get a costume for Children's World Book Day is stressful. And right now we all have the added stress of the coronavirus and how it might affect us and the people that we love. I like to think of our ability to process and deal with stress as filling up a jug. Every day our jug fills with stress. More and more stress goes in, and then also every day we have things that help us get rid of that stress. A good night's sleep is key. Chatting to a friend, a hobby, watching television. And as long as we pour out enough stress, we're ready for what the next day can bring and throw at us. Now, I have a jug here to demonstrate the process. I used to watch Blue Peter, and I've always wanted to be John Noakes, which ages me if any of you are old enough to know who he is. So my job, it can be stressful. That adds some stress to my jug. Worry about my children is stressful. Looking after elderly relatives is stressful. My mother died a few years ago and I find Mother's Day quite stressful. And right now, we all have the added stress of the coronavirus. I worry about how it might affect my job. My partner's working from home, which is actually a silver lining, but I worry about her too. One of my daughters is a doctor, so I worry about her. My other daughter is self-isolating. And then I look at the news every day and see what's happening and worry about what's going to happen to us all, if we're going to get enough food and bread and toilet roll. And so stress overflowing is messy. We cry, or we get angry, or we get depressed, messy outwardly or messy inwardly for our sense of well-being. So I have to get rid of my stress. Well, I can have a chat to a friend. I can play a game. I'm a great believer in games, board games, card games, tabletop games. I think they're a really good way of connecting with people face to face and relieving stress. I'm excited about the new season of Westworld, so I'm going to watch that as well. That'll relieve a little bit of stress. And then key, to get rid of a lot of stress, is a good night's sleep. That's a really important part of our process. So I've got a little bit of stress left over there. Actually, probably that's not realistic. I'd probably realistically have a bit more that I've quite failed to get rid of. But I'm more or less ready then for the next day. So what we all need to do at this time is try and minimize the amount of stress going in and maximize the amount of stress that we're pouring out. And today I just want to say a few things about minimizing the amount of stress that goes in. And then I'll post another video in a day or two about maximizing how we can get rid of the stress that has built out and pour it out of our jug. So it's really important at this time to stay informed, to know what's happening, what the latest advice from the government is and what they're recommending. But it's really important also not to spend endless hours looking at Facebook and Twitter and people being terrified and worried about what's going on. Even those funny memes can be a bit disturbing as well. So it's important that we stay informed, find out what's happening, but then limit it maybe 5-10 minutes a day on social media and reading the news, and not overburdening ourselves with everything that's going on, because that just adds more and more and more stress to our jug. And also be aware of what sources we're using for our news. Social media isn't a great source because all kinds of just any random person can write anything on there and it gets produced and reproduced over and over again. So try a reliable news source like the BBC or the Guardian or the Independent or the Telegraph, depending on your political tastes. I would avoid some papers that just are there to sell more papers rather than trying to inform and keep us all safe. I'm looking at you, Daily Mail. There are some papers that are particularly bad at causing us fear and more anxiety. And then just the last thing I want to say, another important thing to do at this time is learn to say no. Some of us are terrible at saying no, some of us are fine. But if you struggle to say no to when people ask you for help or ask you to listen, be aware at this time we do have extra responsibilities to help our elderly neighbours and people around us, but we also have to know our limits and know when we've done enough and when we can't actually do any more. We need some time for us. We need some time to pour out from our jug rather than take more in. So learn to say no, and hopefully I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.